Have we ever seen players perform with as much fun, freedom and energy as this Hawthorn team currently is? Their monumental 67-point win over Collingwood has them with a record of 9 wins and 2 losses in their past 11 games, and one of those losses was that heartbreaker against Port Adelaide at the Adelaide Oval. I put a poll up on the channel on Monday asking the question if Hawthorn are the most exciting team to watch. Now I thought that the yes answer on the poll would get over 50%, but 66% of you guys voted that they are the most exciting team to watch. From a 0-5 start to now the biggest box office team in the entire competition. They are the New Age Hawks doing it their own way, and really the sky's the limit. It was just 3 months ago Hawthorn was featured in this video. It detailed why it's near impossible to do full rebuilds in the modern day AFL, and at the time the winless Hawks were under the pump. Compare the team that got smashed by Sydney in round 7 to their round 19 team, there is very little difference. A few tweaks here and there with personnel has helped, but the quick improvement has come internally, and like with all AFL teams, confidence is the key. It's been building over time, but that round 12 win against Adelaide seemed to be the win that gave Hawthorn that full belief and faith that they were back. Post-match in that win over Adelaide, Sam Mitchell called a certain group of players the Rascal Pack. The handful in the group aren't really that bad and don't get in trouble with the law, but they are cheeky, full of confidence, and don't care what any opposition players, or more importantly opposition supporters, think. From the outside, they are the driving force and energy kickstarters of the team, and when they are playing well, it leads to a lot of wins. Connor McDonald, Will Day, Chankwath Giath, and Nick Watson are major parts of the so-called Rascal Pack. But it's clear from last Saturday who the Pied Piper is. Jack Ginnivan's 31 disposals and 2 goals ripped his former side apart. It was one of the best games a half-forward has played all year, and with the Pies paying him no respect, he did what he wanted. He applied his trademark showmanship and rubbed it in Collingwood's faces, and they had no answer except to boo. He even kissed the Hawthorn badge on his jumper, and within just 3/4 of his first season, Ginnivan already feels like he's been at the club his whole career. He had help too, as McDonald kicked 4 goals of his own, Watson kicked 3 goals and was the highest rated player on the ground, while every Hawthorn player did their part. The game represented the youth and excitement the Hawks have, while showing the lack of energy Collingwood is playing with, and a side that looks drained after 2 fantastic seasons. Everyone sees the style in which the Hawks are doing this too. The flashy celebrations, post-winning game photos, and huge social media presence many of those in the pack have. Winning is good, but in an entertainment industry, how you win does matter. It's why Collingwood were the must-watch team in 2022 and 2023, and why these youthful, new age Hawks are now the current box office team. They belong on Friday nights, and it's a shame that the slow start they had probably hurt them in the fixturing for the back half of this year. But for all the flash of their play, there has to be a legitimate foundation and backbone. The fundamentals and some switch-ups from the coach's box have had big impact on letting the team play as expressive as they have been. The first fix-up has been the midfield, which is back to its 2023 self. Last year, the Hawks were the 3rd best centre clearance side, and although for around the ground stoppages they didn't rank nearly as high, it was a clear part of their identity. Early in 2024, they were basically at the bottom on all clearance and stoppage metrics for whatever reason. But since Will Day's return and Lloyd Meek's establishment as the number 1 ruck without Ned Reeves, their numbers have improved. In their past 5 games, they are 8th for total clearances won per game and 7th for scoring from stoppages. Their forward 50 stoppages are especially dangerous, and in the past few weeks we've seen them exploit this area of field to their advantage. Meek is 2nd for hitouts to advantage per game for all rucks, and Will Day is such a well-rounded midfielder who is now regularly breaking tackles. Throw in the return of Giath on the wing for some more bounce, and it's no surprise that since that 0-5 start, the Hawks midfield have once again become one of the better units in the competition. The good thing is, it still has improvement to come. Since round 11, they are also the stingiest defence in the entire AFL, despite James Sicily battling a shoulder injury, which is clearly limiting him at times. It's been the lesser likes that have stepped up. Jack Scrimshaw has been a constant in defence, and at 25 is now a mature AFL player. Veteran Sam Frost is probably playing his best football at Hawthorn and has been really important with James Blank out with an ACL. Then the rebound is Njama Nimpi, Carl Amon and Josh Weddle provide drive out the defence while still being able to defend their opponents and help each other out at a high level. The unit as a whole has been stable for most of the year. Even when Blake Hardwick goes forward or Weddle goes into the ruck, they can still play with cohesion. It's a credit to Sam Mitchell and his coaching staff, who have revived a scary bad start to the season by basically trusting the same players. For the present and long run, it will help the connection and trust between the group. It also feels fitting to give a quick shout out to the list management team. For the past 2 off seasons, the Hawks trading, drafting and free agency has been outstanding. Josh Weddle, Cam McKenzie and Nick Watson have all been picked up within the top 18 picks of their drafts and have all contributed in each line of the field. Carl Amon as a free agent in 2022 helped out their wing stocks, but now at halfback he is one of their many rebounders. Then there is the trading aspect. Lloyd Meek essentially was a straight swap for Jaeger O'Meara, Mabior Chol was picked up for a 2nd rounder, Massimo D'Ambrosio for a 4th rounder, and Jack Ginnivan was part of pick swaps with Collingwood. So not only did the Hawks get Ginnivan for basically nothing, but their draft hand is stronger because they are ahead of Collingwood on the ladder. You can't trade late picks any better than Hawthorn have. Regardless of what happens in 2024, everyone can see Hawthorn are on the right track. They are far from a finished product or seasoned team, but are well ahead of Adelaide and North Melbourne for comparable clubs wanting to achieve that full rebuild. It's been impressive, but not all that surprising from a club that traditionally has been strong and rarely been sitting for long periods at the bottom of the ladder. They have the best young coach in Sam Mitchell, who gets his equally young playing group and is letting them express themselves on the field. The only way to stop the celebrating and showmanship is to beat them, and that's something at the moment most AFL teams are struggling to do.